For the third consecutive year, a local municipal liquor store has reported an operating loss. As a result, a public hearing will now be required for Brooklyn Center Liquor. However, city officials say the numbers don't tell the entire story.
Can I ask how much your Black Velvet is? Just the pint size.
In a world that's inundated with big box liquor stores,
$5.99? All right, let's run it.
there are still smaller operations like Brooklyn Center Liquor.
We're just one of over 200 cities in Minnesota that owns and operates a liquor store.
Brooklyn Center has owned and operated a municipal liquor store since 1949. All of the revenue generated from sales goes back to the city in the form of capital improvements and park maintenance.
We want to encourage residents to keep coming out and, support the stores so that they can support the city.
But back on December 13th,
remember that you're not just enjoying a drink, you're investing in the community.
The State Auditor's Office released its 2022 report of municipal liquor stores. They found that while overall sales were up statewide, net profits were down due to increased operating costs.
31 Minnesota cities reported net losses for their municipal liquor operations in 2022. That's 18 more cities than in 2021.
Brooklyn Center was one of those 31 cities, reporting an operating loss of $59,000. It's the third year in a row the liquor operation reported a loss. The city is now required by state law to hold a public hearing to ensure residents that the operation is being managed properly.
We want to be as transparent as we can with the community, so we'll have a public hearing to be held to answer any questions that the residents may have, whether it's about the audit report or the purpose of the liquor stores.
City Communications Director Joe Cardoza says the operating loss is essentially a technicality. The city built this new store from the ground up in 2020, but they have to report the depreciation of the building as a loss.
Ultimately, we ended up netting about $180,000 this year, and even though it shows that we had a loss in the audit, we still ended up coming out on top, which, helps the city.
Bottom line, city officials say there's no need to worry about liquor operations in Brooklyn Center.
We are not at risk or jeopardy of losing your favorite liquor store. The public hearing will be held at a yet-to-be-determined date. The State Health Department has cited a Brooklyn Park assisted living facility for neglect after one of its residents died. Investigators found that Second Horizon Living, located on Modern Road, did not give a stroke patient the recommended amount of water, nor administer the proper medications over a period of weeks. The report stated that the patient received nutrition through a feeding tube, but was deprived of a significant amount of water. The report mentioned miscommunication among staff and orders that staff members did not follow. The stroke patient, who was not named, eventually died at a hospital. After about a year and a half of searching, Wayzata Public Schools has found a new home for its administrative staff. The district spent nearly $8 million on a former office building in Plymouth at Xenium Lane and 12th Avenue. Currently, the district's administration staff is spread across 5 sites. With a single office building, families new to the district will be able to register at a central location. Staff will move into the building in February and March. School officials say the larger building leaves room for the district to grow.
But the number one thing that we saw was it is move-in ready, furnished completely, and all of our staff can be located here.
The district used bonding dollars to pay for the building. It's a new era in Golden Valley with a new mayor. Reporter Kevin Miller sat down with the outgoing mayor, Shep Harris, to look back at his 12 years in office.
I'm feeling really good. I'm in a good place.
After more than a decade as Golden Valley's top elected official, Shep Harris feels good about the job he's done.
I feel like a lot has been accomplished over 12 years. And the city is in a good position. This is a good pivot point.
He came into his final term as mayor with a specific goal in mind.
What was really motivating me was a number of residents who wanted to see changes in the area of racial justice.
But after years of fighting, he's ready to move on.
There has been a small but vocal backlash on some of the racial justice changes and improvements that we've wanted to make. And that was hard. It was not easy. I would say that honestly wore me down quite a bit.
We have some goals.
His recent years as mayor were sometimes controversial. Issues related to policing and diversity were often in the forefront. He's at times been an outspoken critic of the police department. In March 2022, he read a statement accusing the police of having a, quote, toxic culture of racism.
I do think often of how that could have been done differently, but at the same time, how to honor the voices of people that were coming forward who were seeing some pretty awful things.
He's not sure a different approach would have had a different outcome.
I think the changes that we've made still needed to happen. The question is just, could the route that we took be done differently? Would we have still run into some of these controversies? I think we would have.
But even with the controversy, Harris feels the police department is in good shape moving forward.
I have a lot of confidence in the police leadership and the people that they're hiring. I think the challenge now is continuing to be persistent on these goals.
Meanwhile, Harris looked back fondly on the other decisions the council made.
We have increased some of our housing diversity. We have passed regulations that better protect our kids when it comes to tobacco.
But it's not only the policy decisions that Harris will miss as he leaves office.
One of the things that I'll miss the most is how this job has allowed me to create friendships and relationships and learn that we have some really amazing residents who do amazing things on a daily basis.
And even if he moves away from Golden Valley at some point in the future,
this will always be home. We'll always have some sort of footprint here.
Harris did not run for re-election. His replacement, Rosalind Harmon, made city history, becoming the first person of color to be elected as Golden Valley mayor. You'll see our interview with her tomorrow on CCX News.